Chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Mr. Ola Olukoyede, has dismissed accusations by the African Democratic Congress, ADC, that the opposition was targeted for selective persecution, saying it targets corruption both in the ruling and opposition parties. ADC had queried the EFCC's urgent summons to former Senate President David Mark and former Governor of Imo State, Emeka Ihedioha, saying the government was using the agency to harass and intimidate opposition party leaders using media trial as its tool. Responding to ADC's allegations, Olukoyede described the claims as self-serving, diversionary, and an attempt to whitewash individuals with corruption questions to answer.
Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Telecast TV. I'm Miracle Angala. You're watching a conversation with Adeyinka Olumide Fusika, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, speaking about EFCC dismissed accusation of selective prosecution. Does EFCC select prosecution in Nigeria? Endeavor to watch to the end. Don't forget to hit down the notification bell, subscribe, like, comment, and share your thoughts. Not miss trending videos.
Olukoyede maintained that EFCC's investigative net cuts across party lines, pointing to ongoing probes involving 7 governors, ministers, and senior figures in the ruling party. Joining us now on this show to discuss the allegations against the APC-led federal government of Nigeria deploying the EFCC to witch hunt the opposition, Adeyinka Olumide Fusika, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, is now here with us. Good morning.
Morning, everyone. Thanks for having me.
Well, I mean, the narrative already explains itself. So, what are your thoughts? What do you think?
Well, let me start with a general statement, and that is that, these institutions serve Nigeria and Nigerians. And if we have feedback, Nigerians should give them feedback. Okay, this is the way we perceive the way you are working, and so on and so forth. There's nothing wrong in that. And it is for the institution to try and project itself better, make its explanation without necessarily, making it so adversarial. Why do I say that? In your intro, I don't know whether you were using the right words, whether you were quoting him exactly in the words using the EFCC chairman's statement as, diversionary, whitewashing, and things like that. I think that we could respond without necessarily, using those kind of words, What I find that in Nigeria or in our environments, when government officials and government institutions are criticized or they have negative feedback on, maybe from sections of the country on what they are doing, we clamp up and we react, in what I would say may not be necessarily helpful, explanatory as to what we do as an organization. That being said, I would then go on to say that I would not come here. I've been here before to say that I disagree with, I'm not too comfortable with the EFCC going after what we call in local parlance yahoo boys, when they say we have 1,000, 2,000 convictions, and when you analyze the conviction, you see that these are just like pickpockets around the streets, people who tell foreigners we want to marry you and then extort money from it. I don't know what intelligence there is to them, why they pay attention to that. So I think that the problems of Nigeria is beyond that. Now, when you now have the organization going after, what I would consider to be the real economic, crimes in Nigeria, we then turn around again and start blaming it for witch hunting and things like that. I wouldn't join in that. I will also say that the ADC is not made up of Ihedioha and Tambuwal alone. There's Aregbesola there, there's Atiku there. There are other people, governors, ex-governors, and so on and so forth. If the FCC is targeting the organization, as it is being said, then why are these ones not also picked up? If they've gone and they've asked these gentlemen to come to the Efcc to make explanations, it must be because there's something they found that they need to make explanations about. So I wouldn't agree that it is targeting the opposition. I'm also sure that there are people in the current administration, and even in the APC that are facing charges and so on and so forth. Would they also be said to be targeted? So I think that the targeting is of corruption. And it doesn't matter who that person is, whether it's in ADC or in APC or whatever. Should go there, make his explanation. After all, we are used to, our powerful people telling us, go to court, So if you are picked up, you take your day in court. If you are not, if you have nothing to, if you are targeted, if you are being witch hunted, the evidence will show in court that, yes, you really didn't commit this offense. The judges are not targeting you, so that will be it.
Well, what some people are saying is that there's some cases involving politicians, high-profile individuals that were on the front burner recently. And then after we saw some shifts in the political dynamics, they simmered off. And now we're starting on these ones. And in all of this, we're not disputing the fact that new evidence can arise which can lead to opening of new cases and the commencement of new investigations. However, in all of this, we're not seeing anything reach its final conclusion. We're not seeing convictions or acquittals in high-profile cases. But we're seeing stings at the Obasanjo Presidential Library at the hotel. Even though the EFCC themselves said that they no longer do night stings, but we're seeing, all these young people being paraded and so forth, not holding brief for them. They may be guilty. But my point is, what about due process to finality, whether it be conviction or acquittal? Because I know we're quick to shout conviction. It could be acquittal as well. This is what gives rise to this debate.
Well, I agree with you too. I've never, people are having fun at a party in Obasanjo's whatever library and so on, and then you go there to arrest and so on and so forth. I wouldn't think that's the kind of thing, a specialized institution like the EFCC should be doing. And I've been quite, upfront about that, But unfortunately, let me put it that way, we operate in an environment where, you can't, things like that will happen. I'm not trying to, excuse it, We have no control. We as Nigerians have no control over that, But when the institution then, in instances where the institution tries to now do something, we shouldn't be discouraging them to say, oh, it is because somebody... See, I'm not saying he's guilty. According to the headlines, they are investigating Tambuwal for, respecting sums, about 200 billion. All the yahoo boys have been, going after the thousands, I'm sure if they put everything together, maybe it will not, be up to 10% of what they're investigating.
What about all the other people we've investigated for these huge sums? It's not the first that, is involved with these large, an allegation linked to a huge sum of money.
Yes.
What about those who, make some political calculations and then we no longer hear about their allegations?
Yeah, you're right about that. Sometimes, my friends who prosecute for the organization, Oyedepo and Rotimi Jacobs, I often tell them that I even wonder how they get the energy to keep on at it. Because even sometimes the one they succeed in convicting, that the court convicts, the state will come back and give them, is it state pardon or something like that? They won't serve the time, they are freed, But that's beyond the operatives of the EFCC. That's political. That's
yeah, but you see, and that's the problem that a lot of people are saying. You see, we should not use the word institution and political at the same time.
okay.
If EFCC is an independent institution, it should do it irrespective of political constitution. Because if you want to all say political, some people will be favored over some. I mean, Bimba made a very strong case about somebody. Till today, we've not heard anything about the humanitarian minister's case. What happened? What transpired? We've not heard anything about it. They said they finished investigation. We didn't hear anything. Then, the way the states now use nolle prosecute to guard some people. You remember the Goje case, which a lot of people spoke against that time when it happened. There are many like that. In fact, even in this government, there were people that their file in EFC was very big. As soon as this government said they wanted them to work for them and give them position, EFCC just acted like they did. So when you are saying institution, no question that EFCC sojuno, like what is it? Their file was very proud to when this government wanted them. They were still hounding them, calling them for EFCC visit to. As long as this government just want to come and work for years, just close eye. Like
No, but they declared, the party itself made a declaration to that effect through his former chairman, Comrade Oshomole.
Is it that one?
Yes, that's,
when you join us, you
are cleansed immediately you join the party. So it's a party program.
So it's a party program.
Yes, it's a party program. Just join.
Just join, and your sins are forgiven.
But this feedback is to the EFCC, you know. They are listening to.
So why can
us
EFCC
now.
stand as an institution then? So because it's there this EFCC that see, I support the EFCC a lot in their good work.
Yes, most Nigerians do.
I support them, and
I tell them all the time that they are not the only patriots in Nigeria. People,
but which we are saying that powers that be have also tied their hands, because if you see people with big, they still have the fights, very big fights, but because they are a romance now, they will just the ego will close. They will like flipping to their case now. But when it's now somebody that is in opposition, and what a lot of people are talking about, I've constantly been in support of EFCC doing their work. If they found something against Tambuwal, go after him. But why is it all of a sudden, as the ADC was formed, then Tambuwal started taking shape? They've mentioned the Hediyoha, they've mentioned the BMAC. They are seen going after them. In still that same country, where we know people that had big EFCC files before they hold big position in this government. EFCC is the ego now, they blindfold the ego. The ego EFCC cannot see them. To the extent that till today, they've not told us the report of the humanitarian minister. So how do you want people to trust such an institution where there's selective politics?
Let's not, I don't think that Ihedioha and Tambuwal. The reason why people are saying this is because Tambuwal left government and he ceased to be governor. He stopped being governor about up to 10 years ago, if I'm not, is it 10? Up to 10, before Buhari came into power. I'd have, 10 or 6 years ago, I can't recollect, Now, what happened between when he left and now, and why the sudden interest in investigating him. What I would say is that, the investigation will probably not have started today or just now. The investigation would have started even whilst he was in office. Now, because of these things that you are mentioning, maybe there was, I don't know.
Let's conclude it. I mean, you may well be described as a veteran of EFCC cases. I think at one time you were on the
How do you mean? I defend.
That you have added.
No, I defend
handled
against
so
them.
many cases.
Against them.
No, there was one case you handled where you were a prosecutor.
I attempted to, but I couldn't put up with. I think I'm not a very good prosecutor.
But then you moved to the side of defending clients.
I've always defended clients.
The most recent one, being the case of First Bank Holdings, where you represented the second defendant.
Yes.
Okay, so all of these issues, the point you made about perception and all of that, I think we should look for solutions, the way forward. If the perception says, yes, okay, this is what we as Nigerian people see, What will be your recommendations to the EFCC, to the current management, as somebody who knows the system very well, as to how that perception can be enhanced?
That's a difficult one. And what do I mean?
It's straightforward.
Oh, okay. What do I mean? Now, if you have an infestation of vermins, rats, cockroaches and all that in here, and then you bring a kind of, is it shelters or what they call it, and you start spraying, you probably, get one or two, but it's an infestation, So what you really need to do is to, I don't want to use violent word, maybe throw a bomb into the place so that the thing would, We are not doing that. The EFCC is just tokenism, EFCC and assassination, ICPC, The system itself, has been overtaken, overwhelmed by, corruption,
Yeah, but the current EFCC chairman himself admitted that there are bad eggs, and many of those persons have been flushed out. Do you think that the effort of the Olukoyede administration does not go far enough?
In the EFCC?
Yes.
That they've been flushed out?
Yes, he says so.
Well,
many of them have been disciplined. You are saying they are still there. No, the people you relate with, they are corrupt.
No. The problem with that, which is why this program is very important, is if the EFCC catches you, not you, you are not. They display you. This person has collected bribe and so on and so forth. Which is wrong. Even if they don't do that, they get the pressman somehow to, so person. So person has been. So if there are bad eggs within the organization and you've dealt with them as he has represented, so why are you not letting the public know who these bad elements are, what offense they commit?
And deal with them internal, they will not make it.
So that's why people don't believe that, that has happened. The organization needs to open up. We've had this problem. This is the way we've dealt with it, and this is the way we are dealing with it. You need to be responsible. You need to see. Apart the bomb that you need to throw is that fortunately for the organization, you have Nigerians behind you. No Nigerian, even the corrupt ones, wants this situation to continue.
If they throw this bomb, won't he hit some lawyers who are always frustrating processes?
Did I exclude
lawyers? Because lawyers are part of the problem.
Did I exclude lawyers? I said we have an infestation, and you cannot, take. How do you are using a broomstick to try and. It's not going to work. It's a big problem that we have. So we need to look at the whole infrastructure, and not concentrate too much on who is CFCC chairman, who is CFCC operative, and then see that, to tackle this problem is more than just, they can only do their best. There are, it's a Nigerian institution, like I always say. There are good elements within it. I hope they are in the majority. There are bad elements within the organization, So those who are trying to do their job, we must, commend them. And no matter whatever the perception is, they won't come for me now and say, they are investigating me for 200 billion. I've not seen it in my life. I've not been governor. So if they come after me to say, come and explain, it's just an explanation. They can't convict you. You explain. If they are not satisfied, they take you to court. Like I told you, you will see me talking like this, but I defend against them. I defend against them. So it's not as if the only attempt I made to, prosecute for them, I saw that I wasn't cut out, for prosecutorial work. I better concentrate on my defense work.
The money is in defense.
Yes, I have to earn a living. There's no problem. I'm not going to. But that is not the reason, really.
Okay.
It's about skill. Yeah. Some people have better skill at prosecuting. Some have at defending. So it's not as if I'm not aware of some of these things. I've taken them up on, so many things. Some of the things that we have mentioned here happened in some of the cases that are very different. But we must, as Nigerians, see the good side of that. Without it, maybe the situation will be it will be disastrous. Well, it's already a disaster. Maybe it will be catastrophic.
It sounds a lot like there's a consensus that EFCC is politically influenced and there's nothing we can do about it. That's almost the sense, the takeaway that I'm getting from this conversation. Is that what you're saying, that we should just accept it? This is how it is, so be it? Because we're not really, we haven't extracted any real solutions. We've said, okay, fine, it's supposed to be an institution. Currently, it appears that a lot of the elements that would make it a strong institution are not.
The effectiveness of the EFCC depends on something more than what the chairman or the operatives, The effectiveness of the organization depends more on the political will. This criticism has been on from Obasanjo's time when the institution was set up. Oh, he's using it against his political opponents. He's doing this, he's doing that. So it's a standing criticism. So how effective it is depends on, how do I put it now? The political will of the, people in power to ensure that the organization is independent. It is, allowed to operate free of influences and so on and so forth. Don't forget, to appoint the board of the EFCC and...
But do you think that we're ready for that level of accountability? Because if you look at historically as well, there's some people who have been caught in the net, who we all knew, we may not have had evidence, but we knew that definitely this one we know. But
if you don't have evidence, how do you know?
Yeah, well, you have conviction, I suppose, which is not evidence. You have strong conviction that this person was embroiled without evidence. Fine. So there are some cases that it was widely speculated, let's put it that way, overwhelmingly convincingly, right? And when they get closer to the evidence or when they get closer to that conviction, the process looks promising. Again, it ruffles feathers, so it's abandoned. So the political will has been there. I don't think we can say the political will hasn't been there, but the pressure just becomes too much and then it gets abandoned.
If the political will is there, then why would the pressure overwhelm the ability to do the right thing? I think that what we should just say is that let's be sincere with ourselves. We know what goes on. Like you said, we can see it, even if we can't go and prove it anywhere.
What goes on?
The corruption now, both at the federal, state, and all. But let's ask ourselves, how many of these people have been convicted since we are fighting a war, no casualties, from 1990, when was it set up? I think it was in 2001 or thereabouts, And Nigerians can see that this is what is going on in this...
There have been some casualties, but they were just people that were not in the good books of the president of the country. That's why they were casualties.
But if you are not in the good book, but you are clean, why you become a casualty if you are a casualty because
but you see the problem is with the cook.
Escaped,
some
of them got a slap on the wrist.
Some
of them never came back.
No,
I don't want to mention it.
Not I don't know anybody that.
Some of the clients you defended.
No. If I'm defending a client, it is because I believe that he has
but some of them
he has a defense to the case that has been brought against him, and fortunately without I will say that. I have a right to decide whether if I'm convinced that somebody has let's not even go into that. It is I defend when I believe that there's a cause.
Okay, so let me also ask you, in your layers of defense, which one comes first, legal or political defense, which is aka Babasope defense, where you talk to the powers that be at the back and they also eat? No, it's a clear code. The people that go and organize the Baba Sokwe defense, is it not lawyers that are among them?
You want him as an
No, I'm just
say
asking.
he does Baba Sokwe
I
defense.
don't.
A clear question. He will say he doesn't do it now. And he will answer. That's just it. But is it not reality? What I'm saying is it not reality? There are two types of defense. There's a legal defense and Baba Sokwe defense, which the lawyer coordinates both part of it as we've seen.
Rufai, now this is a perception. I think this as feedback to the judiciary.
Very good.
This may be perception of a section of the country on the work we do in the judiciary. All of us should be conscious of it, judges, lawyers, prosecutors, and try to improve so that, this perception would eventually change or improve. So I don't have any problem with you, describing it that way. But I can assure you that this thing that you are talking about, it's not rampant.
Okay, but it's there.
It's not rampant.
They do it when it's not rampant.
You approach your own.
But you said they should not tell you just that. Why are you approaching
your own? Let him answer you now.
No,
you said he should answer you.
Mine is since I'm becoming the you are putting me on the spot now. The cases I do, you can. I can
verify.
No, I can bring the files to you to look at.
Okay.
It is if I believe that you are actually a victim of. You say, for instance, that somebody is harassing someone and so on and so forth.
Can I quickly ask a question?
Have you seen me defend the governor?
No. Can you...
There's nothing wrong in it.
No.
Don't get me wrong.
Can I quickly ask
say, okay, I'm defending.
Very important question as we wrap up. Because we're wrapping up. How do you have the conviction that this person is being witch hunted or he has a strong case vis-a-vis money? When there's money here, you need to pay your bills, money is piling up, and there's giving you good money, and there's also a case of...
No, let me put it this way.
Sorry, I'm just...
Most, talking from my own experience, the only political one that I've been involving political office holders, in defense work, it was the case involving the former governor of Oyo State, now the incoming Olubado. You can come and look at the problem in that case had nothing, there was money, involved, corruption and so on and so forth. But I think, so it is not...
He's entitled to fair hearing.
No. You are saying, it's part of the things that we are saying. This is sometimes, and they need to change that too. The Efcc, and we've had discussion with them. Sometimes, this is the person that has
we have to go.
liable. You abandon that person because it's a small, it won't make headline. You then go for the person that would, so person has, but he's not the one. You now brought the person who is a thief. You say he's a prosecution witness, but all the money went to him. You can see it. The money went to him. He used the money. You can see what he did with the money. You understand? But because he's working for so person, at that particular time, so I said, okay, it won't make headline. Let us use the name of this person to push the narrative. So
thank you so much.
It's I will say again that the problem, whether they want to hear it or not, or we want to hear, is beyond the EFCC. It's beyond the ICPC. We are just trying.
Their wages.
Yes.
Deserve
their wages
as journalists. As journalists. But then, doctor.
Yes. We really have to go.
No, but just let me make this fine. If the country is not functioning well, no matter how much you make, you will not be okay.
That's true.
Irrespective of your professional, whatever, or personal or selfish interest, it is our duty to save our country from where it is, lift it up, bring it up, prevent these things from happening. So we should not look at it from that selfish point of view alone to say, you want to make a fee, you want to... No, I don't do that, and I will not ask any one of us to do that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Olumide Fusika, SAN, for joining us